I'm Alex, aka Alex the Vagabond, and for as long as I can remember, I've been fascinated by the diversity of cultures and cuisines from around the world. For the past decade, I've traveled the world making films, hosting a television show, and tasting all the delicious foods my travels have put on my plate. Now, I'm not a chef, but I love food, and there's never been a better time to level up my cooking than now, since I'm engaged and growing tons of vegetables in the backyard. Yeah! Over the years, I've been welcomed into the kitchens of talented chefs and enthusiastic locals around the world to watch, learn, and sample their delicious cuisine firsthand. Now, in my new series, A Taste of Travel, I'm learning to cook all my favorite recipes from around the world and showing you how to create them yourself, giving you a taste of travel right from your own kitchen. Get ready to take some notes and get inspired. I hope you're hungry. Welcome to A Taste of Travel. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to A Taste of Travel. I'm super excited in this episode to share one of my favorite recipes from my recent travels from the Cook Islands. This recipe, called ikamata in the Cook Islands Maori language, is essentially like a ceviche but with coconut cream, and that mixture of the sour and the spicy and the sweet all coming together in one delicious recipe is the main reason that I love it so much. When I visited the Cook Islands in December of 2019, I ate this dish pretty much every day. We were there for about 16 days, and I had the opportunity to sample this dish in many different restaurants and locations across the islands, from Rarotonga to Aitutaki. Now, the dish is essentially very similar to ceviche. Ceviche is essentially raw fish in lemon or lime juice, and that citric acid actually cooks the fish without having to use flame. What I found interesting after doing a bit more research is that it's probably the case that ceviche was copied from the Pacific Islands. Now, before the comment sections light up, before all you Peruvians and Mexicans out there who claim ownership over ceviche tear me a new one in the comment section, just listen to the reasons why I say this. The history of Polynesia is one of the most fascinating tales of human exploration the world has ever seen. Archaeologists believe the Polynesians are descended from the ancient indigenous peoples of Taiwan, and around 1600 BC, they began island hopping eastwards, eventually settling the Pacific Islands by sailing across thousands of miles of open ocean, navigating by the stars in large double-hulled outrigger canoes which carried their entire civilizations, including staple crops like taro and coconuts and animals such as chickens, pigs, and dogs, settling one island chain at a time before continuing eastward colonization. Could they have brought citrus fruits, also indigenous to South Asia, with them? Centuries ago, the Polynesians figured out how to cook fish without fire, by citrus juice, and eventually, these techniques were adopted by the coastal peoples of Peru and Mexico. It's impossible to know how and when these interactions occurred, but by the time Captain James Cook, the first European to explore the Pacific, arrived in the area in the late 1700s, the sweet potato, indigenous to South America, was already ubiquitous amongst the different Polynesian islands he visited. It isn't a huge mental leap to assume the Polynesians continued sailing east from Rapa Nui, also known as Easter Island, and traded with South Americans. Perhaps this is when they shared the citric acid cooking method that is so crucial to the ceviche recipe. Alas, we will never know, but it's definitely food for thought. If you want to learn more about the Polynesians, read the book The Wayfinders by the anthropologist Wade Davis. So I'm very excited to share this recipe from the Cook Islands with you in this new episode of A Taste of Travel. But before we dive into the recipe, I just want to double check that you're subscribed with notifications enabled. And if you aren't, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. If you enjoy this video, if you enjoy the recipe, or you enjoy the series, please do me a favor, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down in the comment section. All right, you better be hungry. This is A Taste of Travel. The Cook Islands are some of the most beautiful islands I've ever visited in my entire life. In December of 2019, my fiance Carrie and I spent 2 weeks exploring the island of Rarotonga and the beautiful atoll of Aitutaki. Now, most of the food in the Cook Islands comes from the ocean. That's because these islands are located in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and they have really, really good fresh fish. But the dish that really stood out for me was ikamata. So the first thing that you have to do in this recipe is you need good fish. Fresh fish, if possible. Slice your fish into small, bite-sized, half-inch cubes. After you've sliced your fish, place it into a bowl, a mixing bowl, and add a half a cup of lemon juice. You're probably gonna need to use a little bit more than a half a cup just to make sure that all of the meat in the bowl has been exposed to the lemon juice, because that is going to be what cooks your fish. Cover the bowl and place it in your refrigerator for at least an hour. What you do with that hour, I have no control over, but I highly suggest you use it binge watching all of my videos. Wondering where to start? Well, you could watch my vlog from the Cook Islands or my Cook Islands travel guide, both of which are gonna get you stoked for any upcoming trips to the Cook Islands. While we wait for an hour, we might as well spend some time daydreaming about tropical days in the Cook Islands. Let's go. But let's be honest here, the real reason I'm cooking this is because it was Carrie's favorite dish and I'm just constantly trying to make you happy.
That's good. There's nothing better than fresh fish and coconut and just like all of this delicious pepper. It was just such a good mix and it really was refreshing. And we haven't really had anything like this. One's more of just like a light, fresh, if you're having a good cocktail, it's like such a great pair with it in the sunshine.
And I think as the climate here in LA starts to get hotter when we're moving into summer, it's kind of the perfect like light evening meal or maybe even for lunch.
Good, well, I'm excited to have it.
Yeah, I know. It all depends on, at the end, you're gonna be the one who gives
the judge.
The thumbs up or the thumbs down.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm just happy to be the taste tester.
Okay, well, it's been an hour, so it's time to get the fish out of the fridge. When it starts to turn white, you can see how when we started this, the fish was red, but now the fish is white, and that means that the citric acid has cooked the fish. Okay, so our ingredients are as follows. We have a green bell pepper, we have a white onion, we have a dried red pepper. You can just use a regular red pepper, but these were from my garden and I really like them, so I'm gonna use that. And I have 2 small tomatoes. Essentially, you just need a half cup of chopped tomatoes, as well as some spring onion. Both of these are spring onion stalks from my garden. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna chop them all up, mix them in there, add in the coconut cream, add in some salt and pepper and some coriander, mix it all together, and then we're gonna plate it. But the way that we're gonna plate it is really unique and very fun. So, let's get started. Everything should be chopped up very finely. You know, small, maybe little 1/4 inch pieces. Obviously, make sure that you've washed your hands before you handle your vegetables. Make sure your vegetables are washed and make sure you're cutting your veggies on a different cutting board than the one that you chopped your fish on. Compost guy over here. All of our veggie trimmings go into our compost heap in the backyard so that we can help make natural fertilizer and decrease our imprint. You want to de-seed your bell pepper, and the same thing goes with chopping up the bell pepper. What I love about this recipe is that it is the perfect blend of sweet, spicy, and citrus. You're gonna find out that it is a very, very easy and delicious recipe that you can make from home. but it just tastes like the tropics. So you don't want to go overboard on the onion. You only need 1/4 of a cup finely chopped. So just get your little measuring cup out. Finely chop your onion. That also goes in the bowl. Guess that's kind of the theme here. Everything goes into the bowl. Boom, that's good. We're gonna cut up the spring onion. Love spring onion. This is a super easy vegetable that you can grow from home. When you buy spring onion from the store, just cut it off about 1 inch above where the roots are, and then you can just take that and replant it very, very easily. Just throw it in the ground, and a week later you'll have fresh stalks of spring onion, and you can keep harvesting those until the actual base of the vegetable is ready to use. So here's where the spice comes in. You have the red pepper. When you're cutting this, be very, very careful not to touch your eyes. My eyes are starting to water up because of the white onion. It's weird, I don't really get it from red onion, but white onion definitely does it. If you want to make this a little bit less spicy, just try to leave out the seeds. You want to make sure that you chop this chili pepper up very finely so you don't get hit with a spice bomb. The last steps here are adding our coconut cream and salt and pepper and coriander. So the traditional recipe calls for fresh coriander. I don't have it, so I'm just gonna use a little bit here. My coriander has not been ground, so I'm gonna use this little metate. You don't need much, just about a teaspoon here of the coriander. That just goes right on top. So we have all of our ingredients in the bowl, but the most important ingredient is what's coming next, the coconut cream. If you have fresh coconuts available and you're able to make your own fresh coconut cream, by all means do that. But for those of you who don't live in paradise and don't have a coconut tree, use organic coconut cream. Depending on how much fish you have, you're gonna have to use a varying amount of coconut cream. Usually 1 can should be enough. But if you have more fish, then you may consider adding more coconut cream. Once you've added the coconut cream, mix it in thoroughly. You can add a little bit of salt and pepper in there. Ooh, yes, this is looking good. It smells really, really good. That's done. Now the final aspect for plating this dish is not necessary, but it's definitely going to take this dish to the next level. When you plate it, obviously if you don't have coconuts on hand, you can just put it in a bowl. But if you do have a coconut, it's that much better if it's served in a coconut half. I don't have a machete. I should get one. You need a hammer and a screwdriver. You're gonna hit that in there. And ooh, you need a better screwdriver than I have. And you want to put 3 holes into your coconut and drain out the juice. Coconut juice is full of electrolytes. It is essentially nature's original Gatorade. You know, who would have thought we'd be using a hammer in the kitchen? I'm gonna save this because it's delicious. It already wants to be split. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your hammer and you're gonna hit it along the line all the way around, and once you complete that circle, it should just fall apart. Boom, we did it. So we've halved our coconuts. Not absolutely perfect, but good enough. Okay, so next step, the final step in prepping and plating. We're gonna take some bowls, big enough to fit comfortably the coconuts, and we're gonna fill them with ice. So take your coconut halves and place them inside the bowls. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna ladle a couple of scoops into the inside of your coconut shells. And one of the things we learned in the Cook Islands was all the different ways that the Cook Island Maori traditionally would create utensils and plates using natural materials. When we were there, we actually wove our own plates using palm fronds. Very, very cool. So this coconut bowl is just playing on that. And the final step, garnish with some banana chips. Oh my gosh, you guys. Look at that. The moment of truth has arrived. We have forks in hand. We have a taste tester on site. The dish is prepared. Here we go.
Can we just talk about this presentation really quickly?
Yes, we can. What would you like to say?
Put ice down there. Like, I love this.
Yeah.
This is very fancy. I feel like we're actually at a restaurant in the Cook Islands right now.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I'm going for. All right, Carrie, tell me your honest thoughts.
this just makes me very happy because first off, it brings back happy travel memories, and it reminds me of the sunshine and being in the Cook Islands, snacking on this on the daily. And it's just so refreshing. You did a really good job at recreating it. And I definitely would recommend you guys creating this dish because it just feels like sunshine and summer and happiness and travel all in one little coconut.
All in one little coconut shell. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Taste of Travel. If you do make this dish at home, you know what to do. Tag me on your Instagram stories. I will reshare it. I really, really love seeing all of you out there making these recipes at home and bringing a taste of travel into your own kitchens. So if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down there in the comments section. And if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button with notifications enabled. Carrie and I are gonna go sit outside and enjoy our itamaka and dream of the Cook Islands. So we will see you in the next episode. Have a great day.
Bye.
Peace.